Hi everybody, happy December. I'm Alana from the crafting channel at Upcycling NZ. Today I'm going to use these gorgeous eucalyptus seed pods. This is one of the varieties of eucalyptus and it's got these lovely deep holes and beautiful leaves, and I thought these would make a great resource for crafting. I'll start by painting these with a mix of these two acrylic metallic paints. There's a pale gold and a copper, and I'm mixing them because I really wanted an old gold colour. Today's really going to be a perfect example of using up a whole lot of stuff I have in my stash that's been lying around for a while. Because of the shape of these and because it's December and Christmas is coming up in a week or two, I thought I'd put 3 of these together and use them as jingle bells. I'll use hot glue to put them in the configuration I want, and then I'm going to add some more glue and a little ribbon just to tie those together so they're not going to fall apart. I pinched these from a tree next to the footpath on the waterfront. Word of warning, you'll need scissors or some pinking shears when you pick those. This probably would have been better with cloth ribbon, but I didn't have any. So I'm using this wired ribbon, some lace, some red beads, and these lovely Christmas bows. These are all just offcuts from other projects I've been doing. So I've folded all those in half and I'll just hot glue them together so that they fall in a nice way. With the beads, I'm going to leave a little loop at the top protruding. And then I'll just push those bells through that little loop. Then when I turn it over, I can thread some red string through that little loop to make a hanger. I'm just going to tie a knot, turn it back over and add my little red festive ribbon. And it's starting to look very cute. Then I'm just going to finish this off with a little white wooden bead and tie the top of my string off. These would look great hanging from your mantelpiece. I'm going to make a few of these, so I'm going to take some more offcuts and put them together. There's a bit of lace, a gold string of beads. Got this little tiny offcut of festive fabric bow, and I'll just hot glue those together again, leaving a loop at the top. Attach my 3 bells together. They're all shaped quite differently, so with this one I wound the ribbon around to join the 3 together. I think I'll attach my red bow first to this one. When you're attaching your seed pods to your ribbons, try to get the openings to face up a little, just to get that bell effect. This one needed a little hot glue to get the seed pods to be closer together. I'm happy with that, but I need a little something to close the gap at the top there. So I'll take these glittery balls from a floral pick that I had, and those cover that up nicely. I'm really loving these seed pods. I'm starting to think of several exciting ideas that you can use them for, which you may see in future videos, but I'm going to have to go and raid that tree again. I'm going with green ribbons for this one, and if when you're cutting you find that they're fraying, just run a lighter along the edge and it will tidy that edge up nicely. It's a great way to use bits and pieces you have lying around the house, anything with Christmas colours. And I've just had a light bulb moment. These would be excellent if you did them in the colour scheme for a wedding and hung them along the aisle on the end chairs. Then they'd be wedding bells. You could wire these on to skewer sticks and make bunches for the centerpieces on your table. They'd even look great in the bride's bouquet. Hey, funny story, my Italian boy, who's my daughter's partner, was making a video for my nephew Caleb and his wife Nicole's wedding, Actually, it's probably better if I show you. What was that?
To try the bucket.
Oh,
What bucket?
what bucket?
The flower bucket.
The bouquet?
The bouquet.
Fine.
Took us a little while, but we started peeing ourselves with laughter when we realised he was talking about throwing the bouquet. All right, I think the green one's looking great. And I think it's probably going to be my favourite, this one. Let me know if it's yours in the comments. And while we're talking about funny stories, my mother was busy telling everybody that she was going out for a Brazilian for her birthday recently. So here's my mum getting her Brazilian. He was really good looking. We were all a bit smitten, and I think it was my mum's best birthday in a while. Thanks, Pop. It was a brilliant night out. Shout out to Gramado's restaurant in Blenheim, and big shout out to the owner. So I've added another wooden bead to finish this one off. I didn't like the angle of the ribbon, so I've trimmed it in the other direction, and it just looks a bit better that way. And here's how they look. And the next idea is super simple. I'll just take 3 of them, one of the little red ribbons, and I'm just going to wire them together. These little ones are absolutely perfect for hanging in your Christmas tree, for attaching to your Christmas gifts, or for just hanging on a string as a decorative accent to your Christmas decorations. And for the last project for this video, I've painted up a lot of these. I also found that the leaves were actually quite strong and pliable, so if I add a coat of paint to those, they shouldn't crumble too easily. And I found they look absolutely amazing painted. I'll be attaching these to this homemade wreath. It's made from chicken wire and from a recyclable bag fabric in green. I won't show you how I made that this time around because my video is getting a wee bit long. I've selected from my stash everything I intend to use at this stage for this wreath. I may end up leaving bits and pieces out, but I'll definitely use these red cherry picks. I think for sure I'll be using these leaves as well. I'm just finding a nice strong centre point for my hanger. I don't want to end up on the join, because there'll be quite a bit of weight on this when I'm finished. I'll use some red twine for this to hang from. And I'm taking 3 strands which I'll plait together just to give it some more strength. I'll tie it off in a knot at each end and then just trim it off. I've doubled it over, tied the ends together, and now just thread it through so that the unknotted end becomes the loop at the top. With the ribbon, I'm just going to cut a straight edge on 5 pieces, 3 long ones and 2 short ones. I'm just mixing the order up a little bit. Then with the shiny side out, I'm just going to glue the ends together with about 1 centimetre overlap. I try never to waste anything, so I've managed to use every single piece of Christmas ribbon that I had in the house, all of them being offcuts. All you do with them then is flatten them down a little bit, and starting with the longer ones, I'll just put a dot of glue and crisscross them just to hold it together temporarily. I've got 2 longer pieces of ribbon, one in the green that matches the back of the wreath and a gold one, and I'm just going to crisscross those as well. Now turning it over, I'm going to take some wire, I think it's florist wire, gather together the bow and then just wire those together. Everything I've used today to make these crafts have come from op shops and thrift shops. I picked up an old Christmas wreath from one of the thrift bins that looked a bit like a dog's breakfast and had been mauled by something, and a lot of these pieces came from that. So I'm just going to glue a little piece around the centre of the bow to cover the wire. I use a plastic palette knife to stick the hot glue down sometimes if I think I'm going to burn myself with it. I burnt myself twice during this project. Now that that's secure, I can fluff out the ribbon bow, and I'm just going to put my finger through and open up and bend the wire back so that they fluff up nicely. Now I can attach that to the top of my wreath. I'm leaving the wires on so that I can incorporate them into the rest of the wreath, and it'll keep it nice and secure. I'll glue down the little knots at the back of the hanger, and I'll hold those little wires in place with a dab of glue. Now to attach some of the beautiful leaves. I'm just trimming the ends off if required and slipping them underneath the bow and the cherries. It pays to get your placement right before you add your glue. And I'll start to speed the video up a little bit for you so you can just watch my process. Now I'll add my little eucalyptus seed pods. My mum tells me that they're commonly known as gum nuts. As I'm attaching these, I'm angling them down slightly. And of course I don't have enough, so I'm looking at the gap down the sides and the one at the bottom. And I've got these little pine cones, luckily. I collected these off another tree which was dropping them on the side of the road. Again, I'm going to speed this up. Well, I think those pine cones were an improvement. Let me know what you think. When I hung it up, I didn't like those beads. I decided they cheapened it a little bit, so I've removed them. Let me know if you thought that was a good move or not in the comments. I also added a tiny little pine cone in a little gap that was at the bottom. Have a happy, safe, Merry Christmas, everybody, and I want to thank you so much for supporting my channel in its first year. And I've reached 779 subscribers and almost 60,000 views, and that's down to you guys. I'm just so grateful for you all. Little exercise in kindness this Christmas. Smile at a stranger, turn around and then watch that smile travel down the street. If you enjoy my content, show me a little Christmas love and like, share or subscribe. Bye for now.